Alright, my friends, so I thought I'd just make a little video on how we're going into the Lightfall Legendary campaign on Tuesday, which is in 5 days. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm running the Solar Hunter build with the young Ahamkaras, which means, of course, we're doing the Trip Mine build. If you haven't seen this build, it's nothing new. It's been around. Some people use different mods currently, but that's all going to change when Lightfall comes out because elemental wells are basically going away. We're switching over to this new charge with light kind of armor charge system, so we're gonna have to find some mods to replace some of these, so we'll figure that all out on Tuesday. So we're just kind of basically gonna go over the general way this build works and how we're going to be looking to adapt our mods to continue the way we run it now in Lightfall. Hopefully we'll be able to do that through the new mod system. If not, we'll figure out a way that we'll be able to continue to run this. So the thing that's most important here, though, is going to be we'll start with our stats. You want to go for 100 resilience. Of course, now it gives you 40% damage reduction. In Lightfall, that's going down to 30% at tier 10, but you're still going to want to have that tier 10 resilience. Your second most important stat is going to be mobility. You want to get this to 100 if possible as well. I'm rocking 4 pieces of artifice armor, so with that new system of the artifice armor slot here, on each piece we'll be able to add 3 mobility to bring that up to 100 as well. And there is a mod that is coming in that while you have an armor charge increases your mobility stat, so you'll be able to compensate if you can't get that 100 mobility through other ways. I know not everyone went and farmed artifice armor to get it that way, but there will be that mod. I believe it goes on the boots, where it's something along the matter of your mobility is increased when you have an armor charge. So keep that in mind. The next important stat would be discipline. Don't stress on getting this to 100 because you don't really need it, because we are getting grenade recharged energy through other parts in our kit. One mainly being the young Ahamkara spines, as you can see there in that second sentence down here. Ability damage grants trip mine grenade energy. That means your grenade gives you grenade energy and your throwing knives give you grenade energy. So that's why you don't need 100 discipline. If you can get 100 mobility, 100 resilience, and 100 discipline, more power to you, but it's not necessary to have that 100 discipline. It's probably better off to go into intellect, honestly, than having 100 discipline. Get it up to like 50, 60, 70, you'll be good. In terms of what we're running here, Gambler's Dodge, of course, to dodge near enemies. If we do that when our knives are out, we get our knives back instantly. We are using Knife Trick, of course. Scorch targets on hit, that is a big play in this build. And Trip Mine, which also moderately scorches. Now, because of these two things, scorching enemies and running Ember of Ashes, when you combo the two together, it creates an ignition, which also gives you grenade energy back. So remember that, because that's the ability loop for this build. Typically, you're going to start off your attack on like a chunky enemy with a trip mine grenade, then immediately throw your knives. Those two together are going to create an ignition, which is then going to give you grenade energy back. And if you have everything right, you're going to get enough energy back to have another grenade. So then you immediately throw that grenade. And sometimes it gives you another one after that. Sometimes it doesn't. It's not consistent. You'll see in other people's build videos, they talk about your loop should be grenade, knife, grenade, grenade, then dodge. But most of the time it's going to be grenade, knife, grenade. Sometimes you may get that next grenade back. If you don't, you just dodge, throw your knives, then you're going to have a grenade back, throw the grenade, and you just kind of go through that loop. What we're running up here for our aspects is on your mark. We're mainly running this because it gives us 3 fragment slots, because we want to play into some fragments here. You can run this with gunpowder as well if you like it, but the more fragments, I've done it both ways, and it's kind of, I feel like this way is probably better, unless you really love the gamblers or the gunpowder grenade. You can run it either way, but if I had to lean the one way, I would go with this way, with on your mark and knock them down for the 5 slots, because we are getting some new solar fragments that we will be putting into this build and switching out with a couple. One of them is called Mercy, which I believe that's the one, if I remember correctly, that's going to add the restoration effect. So kind of we're getting classy restoration back. So we'll be working that in most likely. There's going to be 2 different ways you can kind of work in the new mods. It depends on what kind of play style you have. We'll make another video when that all comes out and go over that. But for now, what we have on is torches, because of course that makes us radiant when we throw our knives. Defeating scorched targets grants melee energy, which we're going to play into because we're going to be using an incandescent weapon as well. So we're going to be scorching our trash mobs a lot. So we're always going to have our dodge available to us to dodge should we need to refund our knives. And we've got ashes, of course, which allows us to apply more scorch stacks. This is very important because this is what makes your trip mine plus the knives make an ignition. And then we have Solace here, which is radiant restoration effects applied to you have increased duration. This is one that will be probably most likely be switched out for Mercy. And there's another one again as well. Like I said, we'll be adjusting this when Lightfall comes out. And your class ability recharges faster when you scorch targets. So this one will probably be switched out as well, because we won't necessarily need it, because I believe the other ones are going to make the build even better. And we don't need this because we have that 100 mobility. Now, so that's that. Now again, I know you're going to be like, well, this build isn't going to work in Lightfall because the well mods are going away. Well, yes, we know that, but we don't know exactly what all the mods are yet. We've seen a few through some of the Bungie videos and whatnot, so we'll adjust it there. But I'm just going to go over what I have for now. Of course, this is well mods being used. So this is going to be still used. Ashes to assets, so we'll still be rocking that. Gains bonus super energy on grenade kills because we're going to be using our trip mine a lot. And of course, for now, we have elemental ordnance. Defeating with our grenade pops wells. On our gloves, we have melee well maker, which of course, when we defeat something with our throwing knives, pops us wells. We also get our knives immediately back whenever we kill with our knives. Bolstering detonation and focusing strike. Both of these give us class ability energy if we get a kill with either our grenade or our knives. I believe these will be still in the game, but of course melee well maker, most likely not, right? But we are running it doubled on our chest as well, which means if we do get a kill with our knives right now, we get 2 wells. But we also have bountiful wells on our feet, which bumps that 2 from a melee kill up to 3, and our grenade kill up to 2 wells. Again, we know these aren't going to be used in Lightfall, but this is what we have now. So we'll be looking for things to substitute in there to kind of replicate the same effect we're getting with wells. It's just going to revolve around being charged with light or having those armor charges. These here, put whatever suits your play style, doesn't really matter. Of course, we know double bomber is not going anywhere, so that is always a good play. And then we had well of life for now, which of course we won't be able to use in Lightfall, but that's basically it. Again, I said your combo is going to be, you could do it either way. It kind of depends on what the enemy is that you're fighting and knowing what you're gonna, how you're gonna approach attacking them. Like I said, most people are gonna tell you start it off with throw your trip mine, stick your trip mine to them, immediately throw your knives. Those are gonna give you the ignition. Boom, big damage. Your grenade's gonna come back immediately. Throw your next grenade. Boom. If you get another one from that, throw another grenade. If you don't, you just dodge to get your knives, throw your knives. Hitting with your knives is going to give you enough grenade energy to give you grenade back. Throw your grenade again, and you just kind of keep recycling that process. I suggest you run an incandescent weapon as well for like your trash mob gun. Callus mini tool, of course, is a great option. Make sure you put incandescent, of course. I like grave robber on my mini tool that I rock on my hunter and my solar titan, because we're getting kills with our melee a lot, so that just gives us the reload. But you could also go with like threat detector here is another popular option as well. So that's it, my friends. I'll kind of show you a little clip here, just in the prophecy on these yellow chunky mobs of how this kind of looks. So here we go. All right, my friends, so here we go. I'm just going to show a few things. I'm going to show you the combo in 2 different ways. Like I said, it all kind of depends on how much health the enemy has, on how you kind of want to start your ability loop. But I'm just going to show you. It's pretty simple. It's pretty self-explanatory. Grenade plus knives equals ignition, right? So we'll go up to this yellow guy here. We're going to hit him with our trip mine, and then we're going to throw our knives. Knives killed him. As you can see how that creates that ignition. Didn't hit with all the knives there, so one of them missed, I believe. So now that our knives are down, we just dodge. We get our knives back. We throw knives. We get our grenade. And boom. So you can do it in either order. Like I said, grenade, knives, or knife, grenade. It just kind of depends. So we go knives, grenade. And then ignition. Boom. It kills them, right? The thing you want to make sure is, remember, when you have young Hamakaras, when you throw your grenade on something, it doesn't hurt you, the damage. So be up close and make sure you don't miss, because you also want to be up close when you throw your knives, because you want all 3 knives to hit. Now here's where incandescent comes into play. I'm going to use that just to expend my dodge. So we kill stuff and we get scorched. You can see our ability starts zooming up because we're scorching these mobs with incandescent. So you see how quick I get my dodge back, right? So we can go back in here, run up to them, stick them, hit them with our knives. Boom. We can do it in reverse. Knives, grenade, boom, ignition, boom, death. So that's just kind of how it works. You, like I said, get close because you don't want to miss those knives. You need all 3 to hit in most situations. And you see how my grenade comes back off that ignition. So go have fun with it now so you could kind of see how it works. Go to something like containment and practice on those yellow bar bosses out there, because they come frequently, so you can kind of get a better feel of how the ability rotation works. Or go do a master lost sector. You can smoke master lost sectors with this build as well. You can kill champs basically without even having to really shoot them. You just shoot them to stun them, and then you run your ability cycle and you kill them. It's that simple, my friends. Fun build, my favorite build for Solar Hunter. This is what we're going into Legendary Lightfall on Tuesday. Come by the stream. We'll be streaming it most likely on Twitch or Facebook. So if you haven't followed me over there, links are down below. Make sure you follow me. I'm going to be running it in a 3-man group, which is going to be the hardest way to run it, because if you did not know, they scale the campaign based on how many people are in it when you're doing Legendary. A lot of people like to do it solo because you can argue that it's easier that way because of the scaling. But if you want to play with a friend, doing it with 2 people is a better option than 3. 3 is going to make it even more challenging for you. We're doing it with 3 because we like the challenge. I'll see you on Tuesday.